yes, I was telling you, spoke with Stevie 2 Super Bowls ago. The last time.
Oh, when you and Jay were in Vegas.
Yeah, when the Niners were in the Super Bowl, spoke with Stevie.
Yeah.
But yeah, a couple years ago now. So it's good to chat with you again, Stevie.
Stevie Johnson with us.
That was a good time, man. That was actually solid. I like that kind of sparked this, so that was cool.
Yeah, man.
Stevie, we got to ask you this. You said last week you thought the Eagles were going to win the Super Bowl. I know you said you didn't hope for them to beat the 49ers. It didn't work out. What surprised you the most about the way the 49ers went in there and won that game?
Well, I would just say everything about being in the game, considering that's not the original team that they started the season off with. And then when you have George Kittle come back after all the injuries he had, then go out and with the Achilles, a tough one like that, and yet the team still persevere and get through the Philadelphia Eagles. Stopping the run was major for me. I feel like with them making the Philadelphia Eagles a one-dimensional team and putting all the pressure on the playmakers, that was the key right there. And the playmakers didn't step up, so Niners did what they did.
Mm-hmm. Steven, does it feel like somehow, some way, people are forgetting or at that time forgot how great Christian McCaffrey is? I cannot get over, and you would know just as much as anybody, I cannot get over that over-the-head catch that he had from Juwan Jennings. It wasn't a bad pass, but even CMC said that ball felt like it was in the air for forever. I know he doesn't run the football as much as he used to.
Or as well, yeah.
Yeah, some of these other running backs, these younger running backs, but are people still sleeping on how great this guy is even now?
You know what? I don't even think they sleeping on him. I just think it's one of those things like we need CMC to do everything. And what he's shown since he got into the league is he's that new style of running back, of a lineage of Marshall Faulk, but evolution of a Marshall Faulk type, but the way he played the game, I mean, he's dynamic in the pass game and in the run game. So you just need him to be the best player every week. And it can be something where you can get comfortable, and that's where people may tend to sleep. You don't think that is going to happen every time because it happens all the time. But, that's the challenge that he has to go through as a superstar player. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Stevie, Allen's my guy, but I got to apologize. He's talking about that Juwan Jennings pass. It wasn't a bad pass. It was a great pass by a wide receiver,
No,
Allen.
it was.
That's a wide receiver.
That was pretty lit right there. I'm like, wow, okay, they got some supreme confidence in that boy. But, I mean, if you've seen Juwan Jennings in Tennessee, he did everything. He was one of those guys that I was surprised that the Niners ended up getting him so late. I didn't know he was going to fall that late because he was such a game player. But, it's good to see him showing out. You're going to need everybody to show out against the Seattle Seahawks because they got so many talented weapons that's not going to miss plays like the Philadelphia Eagles did.
Yeah, Stevie, I wanted to ask you about that play. I want to know if this makes sense. Something I saw. Did you see it too, or am I just seeing things? When they ran that play, Juwan Jennings gets the ball, and he really sold it. Because he tucked the ball away and he put his head down and looked like, it's the end around or the double reverse. He did not sell that he was going to throw the pass until the last possible minute, and I thought that was one of the most important parts of that play.
Yeah, it is. And have any of you guys been to junior college?
Yeah, me.
Yes.
Yeah, most of us. And I think that was one of them savvy things. You know what I mean? It was one of them things where, you can go with the script and be in a moment and be ready to read the defense and throw it there, but I mean, he's been there before. He's been in the pressure and been in the fire before. So he know that he can utilize a few seconds to trick the defense a little bit more. And it definitely worked out because CMC had a lot of room. And with CMC being who he is, that's why he's in that situation. And it worked out for the 49ers.
Stevie, I'm trying to figure out the best way to ask this question because no. My first version of it is there a QB left playing better than Brock Purdy? But the other version of it is there any QB you would take right now that's left above Brock Purdy? So it's kind of dealer's choice. Let's go with the first one. Is there anybody left playing better than Brock Purdy right now?
You know what, man, it's to answer it honestly, I would say straight up, I would rather be on a team with Josh Allen because of the dynamics that he brings with his legs and obviously his arm talent. But when I speak about arm talent, you can say that about every single quarterback that's playing right now. Because Purdy, he's a gamer. He gives his playmakers opportunities. Sometimes he gives them too many opportunities, and that's what kind of hurts us at times. So I wouldn't mind playing with Purdy either, because I'm a player that I feel like I'm going to get space, so he'll be successful with me. You can say the same thing about Darnold. As long as you don't put pressure on him, he's going to dot you up. And that's what we're going to need to do, put pressure on guys like Darnold. And same with Stafford. I assumed Carolina was going to go out there and beat Stafford because of their DBs and what happened. Like, they almost secured the game, but the Rams wide receiver knocked the ball out of the Carolina Panthers DB hand and helped the Rams win. So, anything can happen with the throwers, but when you add that dynamic with your legs, I mean, I've seen Josh do it a lot, and it's hard to go over him.
Stevie Johnson with us, of course, 8-year NFL veteran. Speaking of quarterbacks, Stevie, I saw on X that you said it was frustrating to see Aaron Rodgers go out like he did, and I believe you said you would love to play for him. Tell us about what you like about Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, Whitey, it was just wicked watching that game, just seeing how he was like prepared to throw the ball. There's so much space. And I kind of want to get you guys this mindset of when you watch the Kansas City Chiefs, when you seen Pat Mahomes get the ball to Travis Kelce, sometimes it's before the route even starts. I saw a lot of that being just left on the table, and the receivers I don't think they was on the same wavelength as Rodgers, and it made Rodgers look bad. And I just took it personal because he's a California kid, went to JUCO, and you just want to see them do good, especially with him being 42, I believe.
Yeah.
And it's like, you had the opportunity. Not to mention, I wanted him to knock out the Houston Texans, and so the Bills won't have to potentially go there. But yeah, man, a lot of that. And I say, I love to play for him because, I mean, it's a lot of easy money under there that I saw the Steelers not taking advantage of, and it was just frustrating watching it.
Stevie, I got a question when it comes to the running backs. Now, I've been on this for a minute, and I want to get your kind of thought process on it. Does it seem like more teams are doing this running back tandem thing, or is that in my brain? Has there always been the running back tandems? As the Niners are about to take on the Seahawks, they got Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker, and obviously the Lions, they were one of these early teams that felt like they were doing it. Am I tripping? Or when I was coming up, it felt like everybody had that, the bell cow running back, and then they would get, spelled from time to time. But now it seems like there are more teams that have the two running back things than just have the main guy.
Yeah, you're definitely on it. And it's a cycle. That's the thing. It actually sparked up maybe a couple seasons ago, I would say. But before then, it was the heavy pass attack, and you wasn't seeing too many, running backs in a sense. It was mainly that one. It was that bruiser. But now it's come back to that, having those two backs. And yeah, you're on it. If you don't have that dual threat, I mean, it makes your running game one-dimensional in a season or in an era or generation in futures where people are getting better and better and the strategies is getting harder and harder to beat. You got to have a mix, and that's where you called it. Charbonnet and Walker come in. It was easy to stop Saquon Barkley because you knew what to expect from one guy in 4 quarters. But now you got a mix of guys. The shifty guy, or what is he gonna do? Go downhill? We don't know. So yeah, I mean, it's an advantage that you got to take advantage of, and that starts with like draft and free agency when you can find those guys that can fill those spots and do those things.
More carries for B-Rob, right? Ooh. More carries for B-Rob.
Need it.
Yeah.
Isaac Garendo, where have you been?
For real. And that goes back to Purdy. Purdy got to get those guys involved, So it's good to have a guy like Brock Purdy and all of these QBs right now. CJ Stroud, I don't know if he looked too good. Drake May, same. It was similar. Like maybe the defense held him, but the rest of the quarterbacks look pretty solid to me.
Stevie, someone who played the same position or is playing the same position that you've played, of course, Demarcus Robinson, kind of a twofold question. D-Rob balled out. Where has he been? Why did he just pop out all of a sudden? And vice versa, somebody we've talked about, Kendrick Bourne. Like, where is Kendrick? I'm trying to put out a milk carton for my guy. What's the mixture, and why did we see D-Rob versus KB work out this past weekend?
You know what? That is two things. One is like when they look like they like each other in that wide receiver room. Everybody get along and they want to see each other win. So they do what they're supposed to do for the offense for whoever's called up at the time. And that's what it looks like. You know, nobody's necessarily the guy, except Slick Rick when he's in there and healthy. But everybody else is, hey, you go get if the opportunity's there, we'll get it to you. Jennings is kind of like a guy who you can get it to also. But still, it's a system there. And I believe it's just about being healthy. And with D-Rob being healthy and being in the right place as far as being in the slot and not being the Z guy who Kendrick has got a lot of attention because of what he did early, which is helping the system. So it's about being in the right place at the right time, I would say. It's not even a competitive thing or anything like that, I would say, from the outside looking in.
Stevie Johnson with us. When you go back to the 49er loss at Levi's to the Seahawks, 13-3, what do you think is the most important thing the 49ers have to do better against Seattle than they did in that game?
Great question. They have to attack downhill with Darnold. You have to attack him, put pressure on him. Whether you get there or not, you got to knock him off his spot or make him think twice. You can't let him sit there comfortably. And again, you can't rely on the Seattle Seahawks playmakers to make mistakes and miss passes because they've shown to make every single one of them that Darnold's put there.
Mm-hmm. So stopping the run also goes hand in hand with that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Because when you're going downhill, you should be able to stuff the run and not get that extra 2 yards of non-contact if you're waiting to see what's happening. So, yeah, they have to be in attack mode. And I didn't really mention the stopping the run because – what Kendrick showed, what the D-line as a group showed was amazing. And I feel like they already locked in. So, they should already be attacking. But I honestly don't believe they should focus heavily on the running backs per se, as opposed to just getting on Darnold. And once you get on Darnold, you'll be able to get the running backs because they'll dang near be in the same place.
Stevie, when it comes to George Kittle, obviously he tears his Achilles and, you hate to see it. Now he's going to be out for a lot of next season. But when George has been out, Jake Tonges has balled out, which is so funny because the Niners spent so long trying to maybe find the next great tight end to George Kittle. They signed Kittle to this extension. Now he pops his Achilles. What do you expect to see from Jake Tonges, who is balled out? He did it in Seattle before, but he's balled out in his spots. And even moving forward into next season, does he feel like a guy that could maybe be a version of George Kittle? Obviously not the same thing, but at least a version of him.
Yeah, absolutely. I think back to my time when I had a guy named Josh Reed on my team, and he was ahead of me, and he ended up getting in. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It was James Hardy. James Hardy, he was ahead of me, and he ended up getting injured. So I knew that I was going to be able to get more plays, and that's the same thing right now that's going on in the tight end room. And when we've shown to have a guy who's ready to make that impact, and he's ready for it. He's shown it. He never looked like the moment is too big, and he's being forced into a role, but he's not shy from it as we've seen.
Joined by Mr. Himothy himself, Stevie Johnson. AJ Brown had a little hiccup, him and Nick Sirianni, not putting you on the spot, man. Wide receivers are considered divas. What was your take on the outside of looking in and, of course, not knowing what was going on, but what was your take on the A.J. Brown and Nick Sirianni situation?
Oh, man, so you gotta know Nick Sirianni. Coach Sirianni is a cool dude. You meet him outside the building. He probably won't even talk about football at all, where you like to eat, what's going on with the family and all that. But then you get inside the facility and he's a know-it-all, and that's the reason why he's made his way up to being a coach, a Super Bowl winning coach, because that's the type of fire he has and that's the type of passion he has in his playbook. So when you have a winning team like the Philadelphia Eagles were, and then you got a guy who's complaining while you guys are winning, and then you make a mistake, Coach Sirianni's not the guy that's going to sit back and be like, oh, yeah, we'll handle it behind doors. Like he go wear it out on his sleeve. Like, yo, what's going on? You was talking all that. Let's go. Like, be able to, if you give it, you got to be able to get it back. And I'm sure that they're still cool. You know, he don't have nothing personal, but that's the type of person that he is. And if me going to a receiver, that's why you don't talk when the team is winning or show that type of emotion. Like, especially after winning a Super Bowl too, like, man, it was just a bad setup for him, because now you making yourself have to be perfect to the public eye. You already got that pressure on yourself, you know?
Stevie, could you explain to us from a player standpoint what makes a short week like the Niners face this week? What makes that so difficult?
Well, it makes it difficult on the body, because, I mean, you got to think about it. You get up, you fly, you get into your city, your state, you get home, you got to get right back to the facility, and you're there for I don't know how long, considering this playoff time. And then you got to, just circle back. You don't get that rest or that mental break. You're back at it. But do that really play a part? Not only when you lose. If you lose, it's like, oh, man, we had the short week. But other than that, it's like, yo, we got more football to go, and, the camera's on, and let's get it. But, yeah, you got to take care of your body, honestly. It's not even an option. You got to do the hot tubs, the therapy, and the stretching and everything, even the weightlifting. The drinking the water, the simplest things can sometimes be hard for you, but it's what you have to do.
Well, Stevie, we appreciate it as always. Your Bills are also on a short week, so that's your Super Bowl pick now, right? Bills against the 49ers?
Yeah, actually, Bills 49ers. I had Eagles. I mean, you got to beat the best to be the best. And,
yeah.
It was hard to choose the Niners when they lost to the Seahawks at home and could have had home field advantage all playoffs, even throughout, to the Super Bowl. I'm going to continue to stay on the opposite side of the Niners, so hopefully they can keep proving me wrong and winning so we can get that Bills-Niners Super Bowl.
All right. Thank you, Stevie. We'll talk to you soon.
One love, family. Take care, guys.
Stevie Johnson, Himothy. The 49ers, as you may have read, they've changed up their approach to the short week this week compared to the way they approached the first or most recent Seattle game. Before the Seattle game, because they'd played it was their third game in 13 days or something ridiculous like that. And Kyle Shanahan said they backed way off. They didn't practice much. And they came out, they looked kind of flat. So, yeah, they've taken it easy. Let's see, Monday, they got back on Tuesday. But today and tomorrow, they're expected to really go hard. They decided, no, we got to practice hard this week.
Just be careful, man. Just be careful.
What could happen?
I mean, you started the show yesterday. With the EMF.
No, I did not. I said there's nothing to that.
I'm just saying, man, just be careful. You got this far, been dropping like flies. You don't need to go too crazy. You know the place.
Well, I guess Juszczyk said, hey, we took the wrong approach before the last Seattle game. We didn't work hard enough.
You know what this is, Whitey. It's just more reasons that they can tell themselves why they lost. That's it. Now we're going to practice.
Rationalizing. Why did we lose? It wasn't because they're better than us.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's what this is.
Yeah, teams do that a lot, huh?
And that's what this is.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we didn't do this and we didn't do that.
Yeah.
So then they can, and I don't blame them. I do the same thing.
Basketball teams do that all the time when they can't guard people and they're just giving up dunks and getting run off the floor. What happened on defense? Oh, we weren't communicating.
Yeah, we weren't. We've been working on it.
Yeah, we just got to be 5 on a string and communicate better.
Well, throwing it back to Mike Brown, I think the big thing was he would get a little blitz happy, right? But then there'd be moments where at least I found myself saying, maybe you should blitz here. This guy's cooking you. And he would find himself answering the times where he didn't blitz or times where the team got cooked by the blitz. Well, if we would have done what we normally did here, then we would have won.
Mm-hmm. I got to circle back to your question to Stevie about Juwan Jennings' throw. It wasn't a bad throw.
I'm not saying it was a good.
Did you hear that, Jay?
No.
It wasn't a bad.
It was still, you know what I'm trying to say? It was still a tough catch.
Huh.
It's still a tough catch. It was a good throw. That doesn't mean the catch wasn't tough.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I'm just saying, those over-the-head ones for a running back to make it.
Yeah.
It wasn't a bad throw, but it was still a tough catch.
You know what makes it tougher, too, and I know as a baseball player you've had those catches, it's not any easier when you're wearing a freaking helmet.
No.
Man.
No. And you got A.J. Brown. I mean, he can't catch the ball that's hitting him in the hands, and he's a receiver. So we cannot take this for granted.
Nobody can catch anymore in the NFL.
Nobody can. And then when it's raining, you got the gloves that are the stick-em gloves. Then when it's raining, you take the gloves off. But I thought the gloves help. Then you put them on, and you take them off. Enough.
How do the 49ers turn Lumen Field into a haunted house for Sam Darnold, where he's seeing ghosts again? That's what the 49ers want. How do they do that? The first game, he had the fumble where he fell down. Yetur Gross-Matos couldn't get his mitts on it. He had another throw late down the sideline that I think was caught by a defender out of bounds.
Yeah.
But no turnovers. And Seattle, second in the NFL in giveaways this year with 28, and Sam Darnold threw 14 interceptions. So if the 49ers, who don't exactly specialize in that, if they could get some of that going and go a long ways towards winning. So how do they do that to Sam Darnold? How do you get him seeing ghosts?
Find a way to just close your eyes, pretend he's Jalen Hurts. That's how you do it. That's the best thing I can offer. Because here's the thing. All these things that I'm kind of razzing the Niners about, it is true, though. Because you were close, and you did see some cracks in the armor. You did not. A
little bit, yeah.
You did not get him to fully crack.
Yeah, he got the Gorilla Glue on it before you could.
You saw him wanting to do the Sam Darnold thing.
A little bit,
and he fought it. You know, like in the Avengers when the Hulk is trying to come out and he pops back in, he's like, then pops back in. Sam Darnold almost popped out, but he was able to contain it. Can he contain it again? I wouldn't bet on it.
Mm-hmm.
But he tried.
Stevie says you got to get pressure on him.
Yeah.
The 49ers can't do that.
Yeah, good luck.
They can't do it.
Sammy is good for one, though. It's kind of prior to the beginning of this year. And, the pumpkin, as Alan likes to talk about, the jack-o'-lantern started to come out for Matthew Stafford, right? There are quarterbacks who for the most part, you look at their percentages, and I looked at Sam Darnold's, He's pretty much good for one throughout his career every game.
He's really one that you have to take advantage of.
Absolutely. And so the pressure is the obvious thing, but also I think is something that Saleh is starting to do a little bit, which is he's disguising some of his defense a little bit better. A lot of times, and this is one of my pet peeves with the 49ers, and we just saw it again this past weekend, 3rd and 15, I think, and you give up a pass, 3rd and 14, and then all of a sudden they convert on the tush push. The 49ers show zone too quick for my liking. And more times than not, you can just read Ronaldo Green and Diamador Lenore as quick as possible. And Demo's the type of person, and he said it plenty of times, I would rather play in man coverage. But I also understand that the 49ers is more of a zone over top zone coverage type of team. So with that being said, you can easily see when the 49ers are playing zone. I think Saleh in the second halves of a few games coming down the stretch has kind of made an adjustment, fellas. I truly do. In the beginning, first half, it's like, all right, there goes the zone. All right, here we go. Let's see what happens. Hopefully somebody can get to the ball, make a play. In the second half, it's being disguised a little bit better. So I'd like to see that in the beginning of the game. And I think if you can do that with Darnold, you got him under your wraps a little bit.
Fingers crossed.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll roll on with a look at Mike Brown's return, what it means for the Kings and their future. Next to the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Listen to the #1 sports lineup in Sacramento.